On Friday, 343 drops some news about the upcoming second season of Halo Infinite and stating what stuff will be coming. On the surface, they finally had something to share after being radio silent for about a week, which kinda caused an uproar in the community and social media. At the same time, I feel a bit disappointed if this is what we're getting. I also want to ask you guys if you are still playing Halo Infinite. If not, are you considering returning when Season 2 drops? Anyways, I'm just gonna summarize on basically what content and features we should be expecting and what the studio is currently doing. They have a list of different priorities that they're working on from 1 to 3. For starters, I actually do appreciate that 343 is taking initiatives to put their employees' health first above all else, which you know is very important. Basically, the entire studio is doing things slow and making sure that the development rhythm is sustainable. But you know, the one thing that 343 should be addressing is actually making those contract workers as full-time employees for the company. Just saying. Priority 1 is addressing issues negatively impacting the player experience. So each week, the studio has a process they call a hot list, which essentially means each week they are reviewing every issue or feedback and base them by priority and working towards a fix. It includes things like fixing the anti-cheat, which apparently seems to be not working the way they expected, or addressing feedback regarding progression systems and stuff like that. Basically prioritizing a lot of the under-the-hood issues that they need to solve, which is always a good thing. You always want to make sure that the foundation, well, I wouldn't say Infinite's foundation is in a good state, but having some good foundation before adding new stuff is always a good thing. They are also saying that they couldn't detect all of these issues until the game actually came out, which is sort of understandable. Usually during development, you often test for controlled scenarios, but once it's out there, it's a whole different ballgame. Now it's on you as a developer to act on those issues once they arise. At the same time, releasing the game during a holiday season and attempting to fix any issues is a recipe for disaster. There is a good reason why software developers, especially large companies, have code freeze policies in place around this time. It's to prevent major issues from occurring while most of the staff are on vacation leave. Unfortunately, Halo Infinite suffered major matchmaking issues with BTB, which we all know the story that it was basically broken for 2 months. So yeah, a result of 343's mishap on BTB really caused the momentum for the game to go down. Priority 2 is completing Season 2 and delivering it by May 3. Given 343's track record of missed timelines, I would take that for a grain of salt. Season 2 in a nutshell consists of new armor cores, which looks cool I guess, and the theme of the second season is about lone wolves. Though a bit disappointed that they are still doubling down on the armor core customization, which ironically is the most vocal feedback since launch, and as far as I know, they haven't acknowledged that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then we are also getting 2 new maps, one arena map called Catalyst and one BTB map called Breaker, and new game modes such as Last Spartan Standing, which is a free-for-all elimination, sounds cool, Land Grab, which kind of sounds like territories, and the return of King of the Hill, which I don't understand why this wasn't included on launch, but whatever. And Priority 3 is working on campaign co-op and Forge, and according to 343, the reason why co-op is delayed is due to technical challenges of how the campaign is designed. Previous Halo games were mostly linear missions and therefore it wasn't that complex to build a networking model around that. But since Halo Infinite's campaign is open world, I'd imagine there's a lot of variables to work with, not to mention that they are trying to get it to work on every Xbox console, starting from the original Xbox One all the way up to Series X, which definitely adds complexity. They say that both 2-player split-screen co-op and 4-player co-op over Xbox Live will be released during Season 2 but at a later date. And lastly, Forge is being tested by a small number of people in the community. Overall, if this is everything that 343 is planning for Season 2, then I feel a bit disappointed. Yes, it's great that we are getting something new, but at the same time, like I've been thinking about it for a while now, is Halo Infinite even suitable for a live service model? Ever since Fortnite became mainstream, a lot of developers have tried to copy their free-to-play model. While personally I have not played many other free-to-play shooter games, there's no denying the fact that the industry has attempted to copy what Fortnite has done, and somehow most developers don't understand why their model is very successful. I think for Halo specifically, it's a problem of being a franchise that set the standards so high, from customization systems to gameplay mechanics to game modes to map designs and many other aspects of the franchise. Incorporating a live service model into a 20-year-old franchise is a very hard thing to do as it compromises a lot of what previous Halo games used to have. There's no doubt in my mind that 343 may have a lot of cool ideas they want to try with Infinite, but given the foundation of the game, plus the fact that it's taking them so long to fix issues and to even deliver new playlists and game modes quickly, it really shows that Infinite's foundation is just not ready for a live service model. And I still stand by what I said in my last video that Infinite should have been delayed by another year, just so that all of these features would have been included on launch, and 343 would have had so much great momentum to work with. Also, the delay with campaign co-op. Well, for me, I mostly play alone. It would have been nice to play the campaign with my friends, but sadly that might take a bit longer. And I can imagine the people that were waiting on this feature are probably going to lose their patience and move on to something else. Originally, they were supposed to bring co-op after 3 months of the game's release, but I guess that has been pushed back a little bit longer. And by the way, 343, I think you shouldn't be justifying your mid-season update as part of this agile development you guys are mentioning. If it took you guys 2 months to release a patch, this is not agile. I understand there's a lot of internal processes when it comes to development, but I wouldn't agree with your statement that you guys have agile development. Anyways, I don't want to constantly repeat myself and be negative all the time about Infinite, but it's just so hard to watch my favorite franchise being treated this way, and it sucks that all the momentum is gone. 343 had all the potential, but they lost it. And I don't know if any of this content they talked about is enough to get players back. Time will tell. And by the way, just one more thing to mention, just recently, one of 343's multiplayer lead for Infinite has left the company. But I wouldn't interpret it in a way that the guy left the company because the game is a sinking ship, or perhaps it might be. Or for all we know, he got a better opportunity elsewhere. Infinite had a history of many people leaving the project during development, which is why I brought this up. Once again, I want to know your thoughts. Are these enough to convince you to come back to Infinite? If not, what do you think 343 should do to convince you to come back? That's all for the video, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Words spill out of your mouth, you